Hi frugal friends, welcome to your daily dose of frugality on the YouTube channel Is Fire for Me. My name's Kim, the host of this segment, and I am here with the book 365 Ways to Live Cheap by Trent Ham. We are currently working our way through the automobile section of this book, learning some pretty nifty little tips and tricks on how to save money when it comes to our cars and our modes of transportation. Today we are on tip number 38 in the book, which is to use public transportation. If you live in an area where you have easy access to public transportation, use it. Use it to commute to work, to attend social and cultural events, and to run errands. The cost savings of using public transportation is tremendous if you get into the habit of using it consistently. If you can use the bus or the rails to take a trip for $2 when you would otherwise have to drive your car, burn 2 gallons of gas, pay for parking, and add extra miles onto the car that push you closer to maintenance, the choice is pretty easy. We live in a fairly rural area of the state that we're in, and unfortunately our public transportation system is really sad. There is a bus, and I've taken it to run into sort of the neighboring area where there's a little bit more shopping and shops. And I think it was $2.25, and it took maybe 50 minutes to get there. And it didn't run very frequently. I think it ran about once an hour. So I did catch it maybe a mile and a half from the house, and I rode it into Silverdale, a trip that would normally take me 15 minutes in the car, and I was able to get off at a stop that wasn't too far from where I was going, and then I was able to walk to where I was going, get the things that I needed, and then jump back on the bus and come home. And so there is a public transportation option here in the county we live in, but it definitely isn't very robust, and it isn't very convenient. So if you do live in an area where you can use public transportation, absolutely do it. I know when we're going to the airport, we actually take several forms of public transportation to get there. So every time we travel, we're kind of on like this plane, train, and automobile kind of adventure. So we're walking distance to the ferry, which I consider anything 2 miles or less to be walking distance. So we're walking distance to the ferry. We catch a ferry over into Seattle. Once we're in Seattle, we take the light rail to the airport. And the whole trip to the airport, you don't pay for the ferry going from where we live to Seattle. And then I think it's maybe $3 or $4 to ride the light rail to the airport. And then on the way back, you pay for the light rail and then you pay for the ferry. So the whole thing ends up coming to maybe $20 per person, but we don't have to drive the car, which it's an hour and a half from here. We don't have to find parking. We don't have to pay to park the car while we're gone. So it's a really great option when we're traveling to take public transportation. And typically when we go into a metropolitan area to travel and vacation, we will often use public transportation once we get there. So I will look up ahead of time to see what public transportation options are available where we're going, and if there's certain apps that are required, I'll familiarize myself with them and know kind of how to pay for the public transportation when we get on it. And I find that that's part of the adventure of traveling, is to look into public transportation, research it, learn something new, and then try something a little bit novel and different. So if you use public transportation where you live, if you're happy with it, if you're not happy with it, we would love to hear about it below. Just go ahead and leave a comment. And if you enjoyed this video, we would love a like and a subscribe to the channel. And I will see you back here tomorrow for another daily dose of frugality. Thanks for tuning in.